Okay guys, so let's just get started with my hair. So I'm going to be taking my spray bottle, I know my hair looks crazy, and just spraying my hair. So get it like wet so that I'm able to like manipulate it and change the style. So now my hair is like pretty thoroughly wet, and I like to keep a t-shirt next to me so that way I can like make sure there's no water dripping on me. So, oh, I randomly found a bobby pin in my hair. That's just what happens sometimes. So I like to get like the edges wet because like I'm gonna be working on the edges a lot for this hairstyle. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is just like fluff out my hair. I use this t-shirt to just make sure I don't have water running like down my neck because I hate the way that feels. It just feels so nasty. Like it just feels disgusting to me. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take like a comb and I'm gonna find my like side part. So usually do that. Okay, so once I find the side part and like the part that I want, it's easier for me to find it because I've done this hairstyle before. But if you haven't done this hairstyle before and your hair isn't as wet as it's supposed to be, it may be harder for you to like get the like side part to like really like lay down. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take a gel and we're gonna put that like in the front portion and like on the edges of your hair, just so that your hair can get like a little smoother. So today I'm using the Kinky Curly Original Curling Custard. I love this stuff. I use it all the time, and I personally don't think that it makes my hair crunchy, but I know some people like say it does. So just take like that much and I like put it, and I like comb it through the front of my hair too, just so like the front right here can like, I guess, stretch out. Also want to comb it through because if you don't, like there's gonna be like buildup of product and you don't want like the buildup of product. So then I take my like soft bristle brush. I use a soft bristle brush and not a hard bristle brush for this specific style because like you're combing like your actual hair too, and you don't want it to like break and like then you have breakage. So now that this part is flat, you want to like kind of like you would use a pick for this, but I don't have my pick near me. You sort of like take your fingers and you like pull out your hair from the root, just so like it all looks about like one size. So I zoomed in so that we could work on the edges now, and I can show you guys how I do them. So the edge control that I use is the Lotta Body Control Me Edge Gel. I really like this. I think it's the best edge gel. I don't think that it leaves any like white cast. It doesn't leave your hair crunchy. It leaves your hair still soft but in place. So I love this edge control. I've tried so many other edge controls. I don't think that any of them compares to this one. So how I do this is I use my edge brush. I'm going to take a little bit of this edge control on my nail. I have to take it on my nail because like I can't just dip my whole finger in it because I have wood acrylics, obviously. So the first thing that I do is I do like the first wave, so like right here. But I try to make sure that like I separate the wave. Like I make sure that even though like my edges aren't part of the part, like this side of the edge is like on this side of the part, and then like this side of this edge is on like that side of the part. So I go like that. So normally for this side, I like to do what some people call layered edges. So like you do like one swoop and then another swoop and then another swoop, just because I think that looks the best and it just like looks really cute. So this is like really hard to do on camera too. Like I didn't realize that until like doing this. So like this is kind of hard to do on camera. So then I take the edge gel again, like right here, and I make sure that this is separate because like I said, I'm doing like the layered edge look. So then I like brush this down. And if I feel like this is lifting, I usually just apply a little bit of edge gel like on the hair that it's like connecting to per se. So then I take the brush and I like brush it out and then I like separate it. Okay, so once you have like that second layer, I always take this last piece and I like comb it out. Also, and during this step, I usually would get like a bobby pin and like bobby pin my hair out of the way. So usually at this step, I would start bobby pinning the hair out of the way so that I can make sure that I get this last edge like swooped, you know? So I take the comb side and I just like comb out this end part. And then I take the brush it, and then I just like comb it behind my ear, but then I take like some edge gel, and this may look like a lot to y'all, but honestly we gotta keep the edge down. So usually I just use the comb side to like mold it and like shape the edge. So yeah, so I usually keep the bobby pin in just so that like people can see like the edges that I just created. So for the next side, I just do the same thing. Like I just do like the swoops. So once I do that, my hair is done. It's a really simple style, but it just like makes you look more put together. Okay guys, so now we're gonna move on to the makeup. So I'm going to first start off by priming my skin. It's so important to prime your skin. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Master Prime Primer and Base in 50. This is just the blue bottle. Take a little bit on my hand and apply that thoroughly onto my face. I make sure that I put a lot on my like T-zone, so like my nose and like my chin and like the middle of my forehead, because those are like my most oily parts of my face. So now that my primer is applied, I like to go in with my Milk Makeup Luminous Blur Stick. I love this stuff. This is kind of like a second layer of primer, but this also adds a little bit of gold shimmer to your face. So now I'm going to be going in with my eye primer. I just use the Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer. I don't really have an opinion on this. This is like the only eye primer I have. I don't really buy primer because I went through a couple years where like I didn't wear not foundation. I didn't wear eyeshadow anymore. So I had no need to buy primer. So now I'm going to be starting the eyes. So I'm going to start with the Balm Meet Matte Nude palette, and I'm going to be using the shade Matte Rosin, which is like this brown transition shade here, and I'm going to be using that in my crease. Eyeshadow is very pigmented, as you guys can probably already see. It is very pigmented, and a little goes a long way. So I like to just do this and just like blend this into my crease so I can start defining my crease. Okay, so now that my crease is defined, I'm gonna go in with my concealer. So I'm going to be using my Nars concealer. I'm going to be putting that on my eyelids to prep them for the MAC pigment that we're going to be using as an eyeshadow. So the concealer that I use is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Medium Dark 2. So I'm going to be going over my eyelids to just prep them for the pigment. So once I use the actual applicator, I then go in with a brush and I like So once I do that, I'm going to be going in with my pigment. So I'm going to be using the MAC Copper Sparkle, I believe is the name. Yes, Copper Sparkle pigment. I love this pigment. I think it's so pretty. It's the only MAC pigment I have. Pigments are so big, so like usually most people only buy like shades that they use often because like you can literally have this forever. So I'm gonna go in with the Makeup Forever 226 straight brush. I just like this because it's a very flat brush and I don't have to worry about like excess fallout. Like I know there's gonna be some fallout, but I don't have to worry about like way too much where it's like my whole face is shimmery, you know? But this one is gorgeous. Like it is so pretty. So for this, I'm only applying it in like the center of my eyelid because I'm going to be going in with some other shadows to like make it all blend in nicely. So now I have the pigment on my eyes and I'm going to go in with a like orangey shade because I'm kind of going for like an orange look today. So I'm going to be using my Urban Decay Electric palette and I'm going to be using the shade Slow Burn, which is right here. It's this like really pretty orange shade. It's not showing up that pretty on camera, but trust me, it is a gorgeous orange eyeshadow. So I'm trying to figure out what brush I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna go in with a like eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. and I'm gonna take that and put that like in the inner corner of this look. And I kind of want it to pop a little bit more, so I'm gonna just wet my brush. I usually just use my like spray bottle and just wet the brush. And this eyeshadow from Urban Decay actually works really well when it's wet. Okay, so like I'm really liking this look. So the next thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my like blending brush and I'm gonna just blend these together, like the orange and the copper, just so I can make sure that like everything is like blending seamlessly. That is just so important when you're doing your makeup, that everything just like blends nicely. Okay, so next I'm gonna go back in to my Meet Matte Nude palette and I'm gonna like not even really take any more shadow. I just have it open just in case, but I really just want to blend the crease like together. Actually, I am gonna go in a little bit for a little bit of shadow again and like really blend the crease and like the eyelid color all together. So next I'm going to be going into my eyes with the Lorac Pro 2 palette. I love this palette. This is my go-to palette. I use it every single time I do my makeup. I use some sort of eyeshadow shade from this palette. I'm going to be going in with the color Light Brown and I'm going to be using that on top of my crease as like a transition shade. It's my go-to transition shade or just like go-to crease color, especially when I'm doing like a really what is the word, like a really natural look. It is just like the perfect like crease color, and it also helps like blend out any harshness. So if you feel like the top of your like crease just looks like really harsh and blending into your brow bone, it really helps to like soften that. Okay, so for my face makeup, I'm going to first start off by color correcting. So what I like to use is the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Peach. It is just a color corrector. It's good for like spots on your face that you think are like a little darker and you want to make sure that they have like a little bit of extra coverage. So I like to use this like underneath my eyes. I love using this underneath my eyes because I feel like it really helps with like how bright they look once I apply like my concealer. I like to use it like around my mouth and on any dark marks that I have like on my face, because I do have like discoloration or like acne scars, hyperpigmentation, so I just want to make sure that I like can cover that. But then I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques face sponge. Love this sponge. I like the Beauty Blender, but I just love this one a little bit better than the Beauty Blender. And I'm just going to pat this in. Okay, so now that my color correction is blended out, I like to go in with my Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is the one that I used to prep my eyes, and I like to go underneath my eyes with this. Now, the way I apply my concealer is a little bit different. I think I got this tip from, I think her name is Alyssa Ashley. She does her makeup, like her skin is flawless, that's just number one. But like she gave like tips on like flawless makeup application, and she said one of the tips that she does is she puts her like concealer kind of like in a rectangle underneath her eye, and this just like makes sure that you're not like making like all of this bright, you're just making like your actual under eye bright. And I like to go in with a like mini like blending sponge, and I like to go back and forth from eye to eye. So I'll go like this and then back and then here and back. And I got this tip from Alyssa Ashley as well. I believe that's her name. She said to just like go back and forth so that way, like, because if you do one eye and then you do the other eye, what it'll do is like one eye will have more concealer on it than the other. Usually the eye that you do after, because you're getting concealer from like just that one eye that you did, and then you're putting like twice the amount of concealer on the other side. So she said to just like, when you're doing your concealer, to just like go back and forth, like eye. So now that my concealer is done, we're gonna go in and do our foundation. So the foundation that I've been using for like, I think I want to say like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, is the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Foundation. And this is in the color Toffee. I kind of feel like this is like my summer shade. Like this is like kind of dark for my skin right now. But I've been using it for like all my special events, and I would hope if it was too dark someone would have told me by now. So yeah, we're just gonna go in with this foundation. I'm just gonna apply it onto my face like so. I usually apply my foundation like I pour it on my hand and then I apply it, but I feel like my sponge has been soaking up way too much foundation like when I do that, because like I pour it on my hand and then I put my brush like directly in it. So like I feel like that's contributing to like my not my brush, my sponge being stained so bad. So I'm gonna try this new method. So I just apply my foundation all over my face. Okay, so once I apply my foundation, I like to go in with my blush, my bronzer, everything. So I don't really like to set my face unless I know I'm going to like a really special event. Just because I feel like it just doesn't look that nice in pictures. Your face looks like really matte in the beginning of the night, and then like you start to get dewier later. I don't know. I just want my skin to look dewy all the time. That's why I bought a dewy foundation. So I'm going to be going in with the Nars Virtual Domination Blush like cheek palette. This came out like 2 Decembers ago. So I don't really know. It's like kind of like a holiday edition. I don't really know if you can get it, but you probably can. You can probably find it someplace. So I'm going to be going in with this blush right on the bottom. This is the, not gonna lie to you, I don't know. I'm gonna find it. The names are just like all over the place. So I'm gonna go in with this Luxe 504 large angle brush. And I'm just gonna apply the blush right on my cheeks. And I really like the way this blush looks. Looks really pretty. And if I feel like I put on too much, I usually just like go over it with a little bit of like my sponge. But usually I don't feel like I put on too much. So then I also like to go in and put a little bit of bronzer like here. I know that my face is like naturally chiseled, but like I also do feel like I just want to add a little bit of a nice glow. So I think this is the, what type of bronzer is this? This is the Laguna bronzer. And just add a little bit of this all over my face. And I like to use this also, especially when I feel like my foundation is like significantly lighter than like my body. Like when I get like real pale, like I feel like I'm kind of like at my lightest, but like when I get like really pale, I want to make sure that like I use this bronzer. So next I'm going to be going in with highlighter. So I like to use the highlighter from this palette. I don't really think it's an actual highlighter, if you want me to be honest. No, actually it is. It's a highlighting blush. So it's called Miss Liberty. And I want to go in with that and put that on like my cheekbones. And like sometimes I like wild out with like highlight because like I feel like it doesn't go on how I want it. But this one isn't very like, it isn't really a warm one. It's more of like a pearly sort of like silverish highlighter. It has a little bit of warmth in it, but not like too much, which for this specific look I like because my eyes are already warm, so I don't want like a really warm face per se. I kind of want like a more like cool toned highlighter. Okay, so now I'm going to be putting on mascara because I have attempted to put on false lashes and it's just not working for me today. So I'm going to take my eyelash curler and I'm going to just curl my eyelashes. And I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal like I don't want to call it, this is not the Telescopic. I think it is the Telescopic mascara. Like it's so old that like it's like rubbed off. But I'm going to take this. Now I'm going to go in with the like orangey eyeshadow we used from the Electric Urban Decay palette. And I'm going to be putting a little bit in my inner corner. Okay, so once I do that, I'm going to take this like, I don't even know what this is called, contour brush. I kind of just call it like a stiff crease brush. And then I'm going to go in with my light brown shadow from the Lorac Pro Palette, and I'm gonna put that like underneath right here just to add a little bit of depth to my under eye and just make it look pretty. Okay, so now that like everything is done, I'm gonna go in with the lips. So now that that's done, I'm going to do my eyebrows. I don't really do a lot with my eyebrows, which is why I usually keep my eyebrows for last. I'm pretty content with their shape. I just like kind of like want to mold them per se. So I take my Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. This one looks really like ratchet right now. Like it's kind of broken. It's a lot going on with this. but we're gonna just make it look, we're gonna make it work. So I'm gonna like kind of reshape the front of the brow, and then I like fill in a little bit of the brow like towards the end. This is literally all I do. I literally do nothing. I just make sure that my brows are cleaned up and I fill them in a little bit, and then we're done. Okay, so the last step that I have is I'm gonna be doing my lips. So I've been doing this like really simple but like pretty lip look recently. So I'm gonna like sharpen my lip pencils because like it's not sharp, so it's not gonna be like pretty. So I've been going in with my NYX 805 Cappuccino lip liner, which is a brown lip liner, right? Never would have thought I would have used brown, right? Never. And I'm going to go in with my Fenty Beauty Fenty Glow original lip gloss. I know she's come out with like other lip glosses, but we're going to go in with this original lip gloss. So I'm going to take the lip liner and I'm going to start with the bottom. And my lips are lined. Now I know this looks crazy. I know. When I first did it, I was like, no. Then we're gonna go on with a generous amount of Fenty Glow lip gloss. This trick is the rubbing. You want to make sure that you get like the lip liner blended. Now you have a really pretty defined nude lip. So that's it for this makeup tutorial. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I did a makeup tutorial and a hair tutorial. I forgot because I was doing this makeup for so long. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to leave a comment down below. I love you guys and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.